things are so stagnant. It's just like it's so bad.
What does it sound like?
You're welcome for that one. Welcome back to Real Lounge Entertainment. As always, I am Mike.
And I'm Tyler.
That's right. Tyler, I'm very, very mad right now. Do you know why that is?
Why is that?
Because we watched a terrible, terrible movie.
We did.
A new movie that I saw on Prime, and it was War of the Worlds. You and me were at work. We watched the trailer for it, and we were like, yes, this is the next movie we're doing a pod for.
I can't believe that was the trailer for the movie.
It was terrible, and we had to watch it and see if this movie was really going to be as bad as it looked. But before we get into the movie, Tyler, where can they get us at?
You can check us up on YouTube, X, TikTok, and Instagram at Real Lounge Entertainment.
All right. So, yes, War of the Worlds 2025. This movie was actually shot in 2020, but released in 2025. And boy, they probably shouldn't have done that at all.
Bad mistake.
I don't even know if this movie has a rating or not. I couldn't really find one. It has a runtime of 1 hour, 29 minutes. No budget information could be found. Hopefully they didn't spend more than like $2 million on this thing. No box office because it's direct to streaming on Prime. And a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. And this might be the first time I think Rotten Tomatoes got it right. So, good job, guys, on Rotten Tomatoes. Your game is up. So, this movie was directed by Rich Lee. The only thing I could really see in his filmography is like a whole bunch of music videos and stuff.
Name doesn't sound familiar, so
Makes a lot of sense. If you watch this movie, the way it's edited, the way it's shot, it feels like a music video. William Radford, played by Ice Cube. I think everyone knows who Ice Cube is. Not the best actor, unless he's playing a character that's basically like Ice Cube, but we'll get to that later. Sandra, who's like the NASA lady, that's played by Ava Longoria. The daughter Faith. How do you pronounce that name? Do you know?
Iman
Benson. Sorry if that's not.
I think it's Iman.
Sorry if that's not right. David, who's the son, played by Henry Hunter Hall, and the boyfriend of Faith, Mark, played by Devin Bostick. There's a couple other actors in there, but really not too many in this movie at all.
This is basically just the main group, anyways.
Yeah, this movie, like I said, was shot in 2020 during COVID times, so no one appears on screen with each other. They're all in their own little separate thing. And yes, you can tell this is a 2020 movie.
So annoying.
If this movie was released in 2020, I might be a little bit...
It would make so much more sense if it was released then.
Yeah, it still wouldn't be good, but I would have a little bit more sensitivity to it than them releasing it this year. So a quick recap. How do you feel about War of the Worlds movies? How many have you seen? Do you like them?
I've only seen the one with Tom Cruise. That I don't remember what year that one was, but
like, 2005? 6, 7, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I only watched it the one time with my dad. I probably should have rewatched it just to see the similarities and differences between this one, but I didn't see the original. So,
right. I read the book when I was in middle school. Actually, pretty good book. I saw the movie from 1955, I believe, which is still my favorite interpretation of War of the Worlds. It's campy. It's very old school, but it's cheesy in a very lovable way. The Tom Cruise one, I'm not the biggest fan of, but it's watchable. It's got definite problems. Biggest problem being most of the characters aren't likable, but that one's watchable. But compared to this, it makes that movie look amazing. Amazing. Spielberg's best work at this point. So this movie is like a different take on it. It's probably public domain. I assume that's why Prime did this movie
or whatever.
Yeah, because I saw like there's a whole bunch of other independent movies made, so I'm sure it's just I don't think Prime had to pay like for the IP or anything. But we have William Radford. He's like he works for the government, kind of like he's one of those people that like spies on people. I don't remember what his like official title is.
Yeah, he's some tech guy or something.
He sits in front of a computer and he's looking for a hacker.
Yeah,
the destructor who keeps like hacking into files and stuff like that. So he's doing that, but he's also spying on his kids so he can look up basically any camera he wants through the city.
So weird.
He can access drones. And
he can access the inside of a fridge. And I was like, what are we doing?
Smart fridges. That's why I don't need a camera inside my fridge. I don't know about you guys, but I don't need a camera inside my fridge. So he basically can see everything that's going on, and all he has to do is ask, like, oh, I need this password, and he can control
It's like he needs a master key, and he can log in with it no matter what.
Right. He doesn't seem to be actually like a computer genius or anything like that, but he just happens to have access to everything. His daughter works as doing research in the medical field for like codes, and his son is just like a lazy homebody who plays video games.
Yeah, I think that's what they said.
Basically like that, who's always just whining. And the little backstory that his wife had passed away, and him and his kids aren't that close, even, you know. So that's like the only real story you got going on in this. We also have a NASA lady, Sandra, and for some reason she keeps contacting William. Makes no sense. I don't know why the NASA lady keeps contacting him like, hey, we got these storms coming, storms. But as right now, William's job is to find the disruptor, and so they can capture him. And he thinks he found him, but it's, you know, it's a dead end. He's like a computer that bounced off of something. Yeah. All right, so there's all these like crazy storms going on, and the NASA lady's like, look at this. And all the shots, everyone, it's one of those movies or shows where it's all through camera cell phones and computer monitors.
Yeah, like POVs and all that stuff.
Yeah, POVs. There's nothing that's actually shot like a movie. Definitely made to make it look, because it's a low budget film and trying to be edgy. Gives me a headache. I do not like these type of movies. I think Modern Family had one episode where they did this, and it's my least favorite episode. Yeah, it drives me nuts. But so you see like everything is getting typed. You see any video call, because it's all video calls. He's going through conferences with the president and this and that. And so a meteor shower comes down, and it's like all over the world. And inside these meteorites that are hitting are these alien ships that come out with like these wiggly arms, and they turn into these tripod robots. Wow. Tyler, how do you feel about these amazing looking tripods?
At first, I wasn't like overly, ashamed of what these aliens looked like. But the more the movie went on, I just wasn't a big fan of it. I know it was kind of similar to the other ones that they had, but I wasn't a huge fan of it.
Well, the alien design should be a tripod because that's how it is in the book and everything else. That's not the problem. The problem is the way it looks and the sound effects of it moving. Did this movie get made in like video game quality 2001? Because these are some of the worst special effects I've seen in like a movie of this production value in a long time. It's bad. And they try to hide it all through grainy footage and camera movements.
Yeah, the camera movements,
but
for sure.
Even with the camera moving, the things are so stagnant. It's just like... like, it's so bad.
What does it sound like?
You're welcome for that one. So,
yes, that was good.
These tripods are slowly taking all over the city and stuff like that. Caesar being destroyed. His daughter Faith is in one of the cities, and she gets attacked kind of, and gets like some piece of metal in her leg. So now she's like bleeding to death. She's also pregnant, by the way. And he hacks like a Tesla car. And it's like, get in, I'll take you to the hospital. So he's controlling that. At the same time, he's having meetings with the president and the like Secretary of Defense, and they're like, we need get back to us with your analytics of what's going on, like what's their plan, blah 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 blah. Well, he ends up not looking into any of that. Actually, he just keeps following his family around. Yes. But then 5 minutes later, gets on a Zoom call with them. And you want to know what type of amazing information he gives them?
What's that?
He's just like, yeah, these things, they're going after our infrastructure. They're systematically destroying our pipelines, our electrical grids, this. Like, thank you, Captain Obvious. Oh, my God. What kind of information is that? I could have told you that. I wouldn't even had to have researched. And then he's also, this one is the one that really gets me, because then it shows like arrows coming together. Like, they're starting to group up. And if they do that, they will be stronger in groups.
You could use that for any scenario. Like,
wow.
It makes no sense.
Yes, it is harder to defeat 2 than 1. Thank you, Ice Cube.
But then it's just so funny because afterwards you're like, awesome work, and then they asked him to do something else. But it's like, no, not awesome work.
Amazing work. Like, that just, I couldn't after that. That's just crazy.
I had to take a break in between this movie because I needed to just take a break from all this clicking and video calls just back and forth and everything. I couldn't do it.
Right. So I have already checked out this movie, but I'm still fully engaged, obviously, so I can tell you guys what I think about this movie. So the NASA lady, she escapes death like 3 times because she's by one of the meteorites, but it burst open. She should have died there. She keeps following these things. She should have died there. Her camera goes out again. Oh, here's a scene for you that I really like. There's one point when she's by the meteorite and they lose her video call, and William bounces the video off of a satellite. Well, later on in the movie, they literally talk about how all the satellites were destroyed by the meteorites when they came to Earth, so we couldn't see the aliens coming. These are the rules you guys made. I'm just mentioning them to you. So, yeah, we have that going. And on the other end of this, we have Mark, the boyfriend of Faith, who tries to meet her to help save her, so he has no problem driving on all these destroyed roads to get to her at the hospital that, it's busy, but no one's there at the same time. Only for her to pull the thing out, and now she's like bleeding to death. But it's okay, because why is it okay, Tyler?
Because he just pulls out tape, and that saves her life.
Yes. This lady has been bleeding for like at least half an hour.
Yeah.
The car is full of blood, and it's okay, though, because Mark has a roll of tape that he uses in his prime delivery.
It's not a bandage tape whatsoever. It is literally like Scotch tape.
No, and it's important to note that he taped her because like 5 minutes later, she's perfectly fine, even though she's a pregnant lady who just lost like half of her blood. Okay, you guys, we're like halfway through this movie. At the same time, we have the Disruptor who's telling everybody, this is happening, this has happened. Goliath is a government program who's watching all you guys. Great. I don't care if they're watching us. We're talking about an alien invasion right now. But it kind of is important because the government turned on Goliath, and it turns out these aliens are here because they feed on data. Why does that make sense in any way, shape, or form?
I don't know.
I don't get it at all. And Goliath has all the data because it follows us, it watches us, it notes everything down. And the guy who it's not the Secretary of Defense, but it's the guy who's above William who keeps ordering him. He's the one that like told them to like put it on, even though they warned him. Yeah. Yes. We haven't really got to that point of this movie, I guess. I guess we got to talk about the other thing. Who is the Disruptor?
Oh, it's Cube's son, by the way.
Yes. Small world. The big hacker in this movie is Cube's son and his friends. I don't believe it for a second. Small world. So yes, so because he's the Disruptor, he already has the files on Goliath, and then he sends him to his dad, who he hasn't got fired yet. He sends him to his dad. His dad looks them all up, and most of this, if you actually look at the file names, some of this like Project Blue Book and stuff, that's all been declassified. So like this stuff isn't even secret. Some of this stuff, well, most of it's public knowledge, anyways. But he gets really mad at it, and then talks to his boss, and his boss takes away all of his he revokes his pass, so none of his stuff works.
He can't log into anything and shuts down his building, basically.
Yeah, so he can't get anything, but luckily his son tells him, I am the Disruptor, and can basically give him access to everything. Wow, that is so lucky that William can have full access back because his son is the hacker Disruptor. And yes, he gets all back in. All his other friends are like teaming up because they have a plan to put a virus into all the tripods.
Yeah.
Because they have, between the NASA lady, who gets attacked by these little microbots and, dies again. Oh, wait, no, she's not dead. They were just going after her phone. So now she has, in like a span of 5 minutes, become an expert on these things. Yes, they're eating data. Look at them go after chips. Look at them do this. They just want my phone. She's become an expert in 5 minutes. This movie is just basically everyone becoming experts at everything in the shortest amount of time, period. So she calls them, tells them they're going after her data. All of them decide we need to create a virus. So someone makes a virus really fast.
Yeah.
A rabbit virus.
Yeah, between like the son and daughter, because they needed to figure out another formula to reverse it or something.
We're not there yet. We're still at the geeks. We're at the Disruptor clan.
Yeah.
Because they're like, this is a computer thing. Make the virus, and it halfway works, but then all of a sudden it stops, and it sends like the robots, or it sends the ships
to him,
to all the Disruptors, and kills them all, including his son.
For real?
Yeah, for real. Oh, Wait, was it for real?
No, he was just at his friend's.
No, he was at his friend's house with a fake background. Why? That's so stupid. Tell me right now. This is a big complaint I have about War of the Worlds stuff, okay? This is the second movie. This is the Tom Cruise movie all over again, where we have a scene where the son dies in the movie. And that one, he goes over a hill where the battle's going on because he's a man and his dad lets him go. And then the whole entire hill gets engulfed in flames. But at the end of the movie, he just waddles home and sees Tom Cruise. He should not be there. And in this movie, we have a whole house blowing up and his whole cell phone thing goes away, blah, blah, blah. No, I was at my friend's house. This is a fake background. Stop it! Stop it, War of the Worlds. I cannot do this anymore. If you make another War of the Worlds movie and you try to fake out like that, it doesn't work. It's lame. So stop it. All right. So that didn't fully work. But luckily, we have Sandra, the NASA expert on these little microbots already, who's like, what do you see, Ice Cube? I see rubber. I see plastic. I see that. Is that blood? Yes. Yes, these are like half technical, half biological, and half like tech things mixed together.
Yeah.
So they have to create a virus that will attack. I think they create a plan. We have the son, the daughter, Ice Cube, and the NASA lady.
Girl, yeah.
And they have to create a plan. And within less than a minute, not making that up, less than a minute, they have to. Mark comes out with an idea. Why don't you just create something that like attacks itself? That's a great idea, Mark. Luckily, Faith has some sort of like virus or something that she's been working on that can do just that.
It's like perfectly timed and everything.
Yeah, I don't know you guys with this movie. It's not the worst. It's not the worst part of the scene. So they're like, all the things are trying to get to the Goliath, all the tripods. Goliath is literally buried 40 feet under the building that William is in. The whole military plan is to send in jets to destroy the whole city of Washington, to put even more rubble over it because the aliens can't undig 40 feet of debris. You know, they just traveled through space, destroyed everything, but they can't dig a hole.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't even know. It doesn't make sense. The writers explain that to me. Literally, please comment me if you wrote this movie and how that makes sense. Either way. So their whole thing is they have 8 minutes because 8 minutes before the jets come in and bomb. And William is like, I don't have a thumbnail because they're gonna make that virus
like a flash drive
a
thing.
thumb drive.
Yeah,
That's a thumb
yeah.
drive. Send me the files on thumb drive and then I'll plug it in or whatever. And he's like, I don't have a thumb drive. So Mark's like, what do you mean you don't have a thumb drive? Everyone has a thumb drive, and pulls one out of his pocket. Good going, Mark. Love you in this movie, Mark. This movie would fail if it wasn't for you, especially for the next part. Being an Amazon Prime movie, how do we get that thumbnail or thumb drive to William? Tyler, how do they get the thumb drive to William?
With Amazon delivery.
Amazon Air.
Oh yeah, and the Air.
A newest thing. He just happens to have the drone on him. But before you can do that, you have to make an official purchase off Amazon.com to activate the drone. So they do that. So in this time, when the whole grid is down and the tripods are all coming at William, they have to fly this drone in with the thumb drive to get to William. It's losing power. William has to get downstairs in a locked building, navigate through all these hallways and restricted areas. Luckily, he gave his daughter, Faith, all the access. So she has become an expert all of a sudden on computer stuff and how to get down there and how to communicate with him.
Basically just what Ice Cube is doing the whole movie. Now she all of a sudden has all those tech.
Yeah.
Don't know the word I'm trying to say.
You have access and you have all my skills that I have. Faith, good job. So I think we're down to 2 minutes at this time. Ice Cube can't get into the room because he needs a key and his thing isn't working. 2 minutes away. Quick fit, because he's now got the thumb drive because the drone got to him somehow. Yeah, believable. 2 minutes, and he's like, quick, find the video, rewind
video
it.
Playback.
Find somebody that typed in the thing and put it in 2 minutes. So she does that, finds the code, he gets in, he's getting pulled down by all the little microbots because they're all in there, and he's warned that they're gonna eat him because of the data, even though they didn't eat Sandra. They just went after her cell phone. So once again, you're contradicting yourself, you guys. And he gets it in, and with 3 seconds left, the jets fly off and say, we don't need to bomb it anymore. Who called it off with 3 seconds left? Because that's not how it works. You would need somebody to, like, somebody higher up to be like, cancel attack.
Call it in,
you know.
yeah.
So William died a hero, saving the world. Oh, wait. William didn't die. Because then we get more stuff with him and getting to the baby shower. We'll talk about the baby shower stuff after this. Getting to the baby shower, and the world seems to go back. Mark is delivering Prime videos. Faith becomes like, an article about how she made the thing that saved the world. Luckily, the world had this family here that was able to do all this for them because no one else could do it on this planet. And that is the end of this despicable Amazon Prime movie called War of the Worlds 2025.
Or 2020.
I want to call this movie just done.
Done of the worlds.
Yes, thank you. Now, I watched this movie, and I thought it was terrible. But, being the fair guy I wanted to rewatch it to make sure, was it really that bad as I thought it was?
Bad
so
mistake.
I watched it. I watched it the second time.
Rookie mistake.
It did not improve in any way, shape, or form.
They get worse.
I don't know if it's worse because it was already bottom of the barrel to me. This movie wasted now 3 hours of my life. I'll take personal responsibility for the second hour and a half. But this movie took an hour and a half of my life that I will never get back. And I have everyone who worked on this movie to blame. But before we go to that, I guess we can talk about more scenes of this movie. Tyler, what scene would you like to talk about first?
Let's see.
Anything that sticks out?
Obviously, the biggest part of this movie I didn't like is just it being over video and all that, over the computer, and it's not an actual like in-person movie.
Right.
That was just like the biggest, because it had me lose interest into it. That's one reason why I had to take a break. I just couldn't deal with it going back with the video and computer and all that. So that really bugs me.
It made it hard to follow lots of times. I also gotta say, like, this movie seems to take place over like 6 hours only. The first timestamp I could see in the movie was around like 9:30ish a.m., and that's when they kind of were first attacking. And the last timestamp was like around 2:30ish, and some stuff happened. So let's say it got over at like 3:30 or 4 o'clock. That's like 7 hours.
Yeah.
This is way too much happened in 7 hours.
One of the other things that really bugged me is when the daughter's hurt in the car and he's trying to have like a one-on-one conversation, but it's like deeper meaning stuff, talking about like, I'm sorry, we're not close. And she's like, do you really want to get into this right now? And he was like, yeah. And then he saw that her phone battery was low, so he ended the call, but then goes straight to the email and starts typing out an email. I was just like, what are we doing?
Right.
Why are you sending an email? Just text her or something. Like, I know you're probably trying to get something off your chest, but why are you just going to an email?
That's the other we didn't really talk about, that is the fact that he keeps going to this email. Like, as soon as they attack, he starts emailing them saying like, oh, I'm sorry, I was a bad dad, blah, blah, blah. And he just keeps adding to it. Like, you're supposed to be protecting our country. Apparently you're like one of the highest computer geniuses in this world. I'm sorry, you have to let that go and do your job right now.
Because there's been plenty of scenes in here where somebody asks him to do something, but instead he spies on his daughter to see what she's doing or see what Mark's at, or his son's trying to call him, so then he like talks to him, but he was just not doing his job the whole movie, but still got it done.
Yeah, there's so much time wasted in this really short time. The other thing is, like, the armies are attacking and they're kicking butt. These tripods are actually not very special. Our military is taking them all down until they start plugging in and take out all the information. They suck all the information out, and then all like our helicopters are falling, our boats are like sinking and stuff like that. Like, you guys can still fight. I know you don't have the technology to do this, but you can still fight your guns, and I think you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just, this movie is so stressful. If they're attacking all the grids, there's so much damage. The meteorites themselves have destroyed so much stuff.
Yeah.
These tripods are coming out, shooting laser beams, making these sounds like,
Yeah.
stupid stuff like that. Stuff is destroyed. There should be like no power. There's already no satellites. And this movie is tech-based. Now, I had a problem with the Tom Cruise movie where they sent EMPs and destroyed all the electronics, and that one guy's holding a camera, a digital camera. That camera shouldn't work. That scene bugged me. But now we have this movie. It's all done over Wi-Fi and internet that use satellites, that use just electricity, use all this stuff. None of that will be working at this point. None of it. So, and everyone's cell phones are still working. That have, he has no problem contacting anyone at any point. Realistically, this boggles my mind on how they thought that this would work and be okay.
It made no sense.
We already kind of hit up on the special effects. Special effects are garbage. Low budget video game, Sci-Fi Channel original movies would equivalent Sharknado style. Like, these special effects are some of the worst I've seen in a long, long time. The acting, no one really stood out to me as having a decent job. Even actors I've seen in other projects. The one guy who's in charge of William, he was in like the Avengers movie.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name in those movies.
Phil Coulson was his name.
Yeah.
The agent or whatever.
Loved him in that. In this movie, he's like, there's audio of him like, Goliath is the smartest thing, blah, blah, blah. It's like, is this a for real line that someone wrote down that thought would be sweet?
Now, I know you said that nobody was very bright in their acting, but somebody that stood out in acting was Ice Cube, and it was terrible.
Yes.
All these like side comments he does when all the aliens and the tripods like first get into there, and he's just like looking at the screen. He's just like, oh my God. Like, I couldn't stand the acting. I first was just very pissed off, and then I just went to laughing because it was just terrible.
It's laughably bad. It's almost like, obviously it's all going to be digitally put in later, but I don't think he knew what he was supposed to be like reacting to, because what he would react and then whether they show or whatever didn't really match. There's so many things that he just horribly acted. Here's some of them. Here's some, like, this is terrible. It's huge. Like, and then multiple times he's just like, damn. Or when the military's taking him out, like, took your ass out, huh? Yeah. or just obvious things like, run.
Yeah.
Or get away from that. Like, hello, yes, obviously. That's a lot. Like, I can't. Some of this stuff, this is terrible. Yes, I agree. This is terrible. But this one is my favorite in the movie. When he finds out about the microorganisms being like half biological, he's just like, DNA. Oh my God. Like, what?
Like, you could have gone somewhere else instead of those words. Like, that. I don't know exactly what you could have done, but not that.
I don't know why Ice Cube was chosen for this movie. I like him in certain movies, but like I said earlier, he's got to be playing a tough Ice Cube type character. This is just totally miscast.
Yeah. The only parts that the funny parts with Ice Cube acting that I thought was hilarious was when they first get and like attacking the place, and then they attack his building, and he has to go like off screen a little bit, and he's like, oh my God, what? I'm just like, what are you doing? Just stop. And then there was a part when the Sheila, I don't know if she's the NASA one or the other, I don't know. He like talks with two different girls.
Sandra's the NASA one, and the other one's the FBI agent, who I think is the only one who actually dies in this movie.
Yeah, so she's the one that goes out there, and she gets attacked or whatever, and cuts out her video footage, and he's like, are you okay? What's wrong? And then he just cuts to the camera, and he's just like, oh my God. I'm just like, no, stop. I can't.
Oh my God.
It was bad. Those are the two parts that I think were the worst part with his acting, but I know you just ranted on a bunch of other stuff, and I agree. But
this whole movie, every character just says the most obvious things. No one actually says anything smart. It's just obvious.
Yeah.
Mark was looking like a genius. Just anytime William was on anything, just obvious things. The NASA lady, obvious things. Like, the storm's really bad. Clearly, I can see that. The news lady, I can't remember what she said. She said, I don't know. She says something in this movie. I don't. I would say I would rewatch. I'm not rewatching this movie again for you guys. Sorry. She says something. It's like, yeah, it's Captain Obvious, but they also seem to know everything that's going on. Like I think it's, I don't know if it's CNN or whatever, but some newscaster.
Yeah, something.
They know
Breaking
all
news,
the information.
yeah.
You know, but once again, none of that stuff would be working,
Yeah.
and all this data is being erased as they like eat it or whatever they're doing. So like Ice Cube is making this email that probably should never actually will never actually be read technically. Everyone, they take all the everyone goes bankrupt because they erase all the banking information. It would take such a long time to rebuild this world, but they seem to do it like days after because it seemed like no time had passed.
Yeah,
because they were at the picture at the baby shower. Everyone's all happy at the end. The product placement in this movie killed me.
I know you mentioned it when you were watching it, when we were talking about it. When I was watching it, I only caught like a few things, but yeah, no. Didn't work for me.
The most obvious product placement movie I have ever seen was The Wizard. And that is a Nintendo movie, and they were advertising like Nintendo and Super Mario 3 and the Power Glove. And it's very obvious they're advertising products, but at the same time, it's about video games. So I'll
Which
buy
would
it.
make sense, yeah.
So I still enjoyed that movie as a kid. Yes, it was product placement as heck. This one is, I think, the worst I have ever seen. Just because it's an Amazon Prime movie. You have Mark, who's an Amazon Prime driver. So he's in his van, he's in his outfit. We already talked about the Prime Air, like, oh, we've been training on this for months. We can get it to you. And then they have to order on Prime. And then there's 2 times when William is like, why you need Goliath? So you can see what everyone has in their Amazon cart. And there's another time when the drone flips over and there's like this guy who's hiding in a tent. Yes, all these aliens are invading. The city's being destroyed. He's taking protection in his tent, and he won't run out to get it. And they're like, we'll give you a free year of internet. And he still wouldn't do it. It's like, why? So the government can spy on me? And like, give him $1,000 Amazon gift card. And that got him to do it. Come on. That's a little heavy, you guys. If you just made Mark an Amazon Prime driver, we saw the symbols, we saw the packages, doesn't even have to be mentioned. That's enough. We get it. This is blatantly horrible way to place your products.
Shame on you, Amazon.
So I guess one of the big questions is, should this movie have been shelved?
It should have been released in 2020. If it's past that, it should have been shelved. That's my answer.
Absolutely. This movie still would have been bad back then, but just put it out on your streaming service.
Because it would have made more sense around that time with everybody, being quarantined and all that. It made more sense back then. Shouldn't have been released.
Yeah. The fact that now they brought this out makes me more angry that they released it and that enough people are watching it. I'm one of those people, unfortunately. I watched it twice, so now they're going to get big numbers off this really bad movie, and they're going to consider it a success. So compared to the other War of the Worlds, obviously, this is the last place for me. I've only seen 2 other ones. I haven't seen some of the other independent movies. This is clearly last place for me. You haven't seen the original, but...
this is definitely way worse than the Tom Cruise one. That one is so much better than this.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Not only should this have been released in 2020 or 2021, don't call it War of the Worlds.
Yeah, you could have just done something else completely different with it.
Attaching an IP name like that to this garbage was a horrible mistake because now you have something to compare it to, and it fails in comparison in every single way.
Yep.
Amazon should be ashamed of themselves for making this movie. Everyone who worked on this movie, like, I try to look at the positives of things, and I know it's hard to make a movie, but when you have intentions like this movie, I'm not going to be that nice. It's an Amazon product movie.
Yeah.
So everyone should be ashamed of this movie. You said you had one positive? What was it?
The one positive I said was when the people that Ice Cube was working for shut down his whole building and stuff. When he's been spying on basically, like his whole family and everything. So then he sits there at the computer and he doesn't know what to do. But then the hacker chimes in and he was like, do you want to play a game? And he was like, "Fuck yeah, I do." And he goes, "See, I always kept an eye on you, Dad." And I thought that was a little cool moment there to bring it back in. But
Yeah, this is right after 5 minutes after Ice Cube found out his son was the hacker and was yelling and screaming like, "I can't believe it's you!" Blah blah blah. But then he gets fired, so now his son can benefit him. So the only reason he accepts his son back in his good grace and makes a complete 180 to say that line is because now his son can get him back in. So he's using his son. Good job, William.
that was my only positive. Everything else,
Yeah, such a positive, Tyler.
dumpster. It was, to me at least.
He's the one. If I had to give this movie one scene, it's a very cheesy scene, but his dead wife has one little like 5 second snidbit audio and some pictures. He's literally seeing the pictures disappear in front of him. He gets to play the audio 1.5 times before it's gone, and it's gone forever. So it's like erasing the final memories of that. If I had to choose one thing from this movie, that would be it. But even then, just no, I can't. So obvious, this movie, as you said, is a dumpster fire, and I hate it. I hate this movie. So I think it's time that we get to the ratings and get this over with, because I don't want to think about this movie ever again. And as most of you know, we have a rating system between 0 and 5. We both give it a grade, 0 being the worst, obviously, 5 being a true classic of a movie, perfection, basically.
But those words will not touch this movie,
No.
correct?
So any movie that scores an average, our average, over 4 or higher is a true classic we consider. Anything that has a average of 1.5 or less, we put on the wall of shame. And currently, we actually only have one movie that was bad enough to go on the wall of shame, and that's Halloween Ends, where it still definitely deserves to be. But I feel like this one will be our second movie, and it makes Halloween Ends look like perfection. So I will go first, as no one's surprised. Tyler, I'm pretty sure you said that I cannot give this movie a negative score.
Yeah, you can't give any movie a negative score. God. If you could, what would you give this?
A -1. It deserves a -1. This is a terrible movie. But since I can't do that, it's obvious. A 0. My first 0. I think the first 0 that's ever been put on any movie from anybody, even our guest people that we've had on here. This movie is a 0. It doesn't deserve any points whatsoever. Tyler, let me hear your score, please.
I'm giving this a 0.5.
The fact that you gave this...
If I could really give it a score, I probably would give it like a 0.3 or something, but that's not how this works. I'm just going with the 0.5.
So if that averages out to 0.25 of a movie, and yes, this movie deservedly achieves the status of lowest score on the channel and Wall of Shame.
What a beautiful movie this was.
Yeah, this movie is terrible, and it's not even so bad that it can be entertaining. I honestly recommend everyone, don't even waste your time. Watch anything. Watch a sci-fi original movie, because at least they know what they are, and they're having fun with it. This makes me not want to watch any Amazon product ever again. And this isn't the first one that's done it to me, but it's like, come on, you guys. Try a little bit harder.
It's just there's no need to just release this now. If you weren't going to release it back then when it was made, don't release it now. It just made no sense. And I think probably would have done better, at least a little bit better back then, but I think it was worse that they released it now.
Yeah. Now I know some of you out there are going to be completely opposite of us, and maybe you enjoy this movie, and that's awesome. If you like this movie, I'm glad you had fun with it, because that's what movies are supposed to do. So if any of you out there actually liked it, I'm happy for you. Let us know in the comments what you liked about this movie. Or let us know in the comments, if you're like us, why this movie was so bad, because I'm sure there's something that we missed out. But I think that'll do it for this one. As always, I'm Mike.
And I'm Tyler.
See you on the next one.
It's you! It's you!
Yeah. Well, yes, kind of.
How could you, man? How could you?